Hi guys, we are going to be working on some ratios this week in our student workbook on pages 175 and 176 and 177 and 178. So we wanted to go ahead and put together just a little PowerPoint, a little description in case you needed something more to get going on using ratios in the veterinary field. So here we go. So ratios are one of the oldest methods used to calculate dosages. So ratios are a comparison of one quantity to another similar quantity. A relationship between two numbers separated by a colon, so 1 to 2 or 1 is to 2, and then in fraction form it would be 1 over 2. The ratio is useful for solving simple problems where you are asked to find a number based on a given set of numbers. So we do a lot of cross multiplying and dividing. So pretty simple. Maybe it's something you haven't done for a while, so let's get into it. Here is an example. So if there are 12 grams in 4 mLs, how many milligrams are in 20 mLs? So in a ratio, the factors on the left need to be the same as the factors on the right. So we have milligrams over mLs equals milligrams over mLs. You'll notice in the example, though, it says 12 grams in 4 mLs, and then the question asks how many milligrams are in 20 mLs. So let's take a look at that. So to do that, we need to convert grams to milligrams. And so I use the King Henry Dye drinking chocolate milk thing at the top. So we have kilo, hecto, deca, the units, which could be liters, grams, or meters. And then we have deci, centi, milli. So right now with the 12 grams, we are at the units with 12 grams, and we need to go to milligrams. So we move the decimal place 3 spots to the right. So we change 12 grams into 12,000 milligrams. So you can see as I did that, and over here, so now we have 1,200 milligrams over 4 liters, and then we have X milligrams over 20 liters. So now we just need to cross multiply and divide. So we get 4X equals 240,000 mLs. And then we need to solve for X. We need to get X by itself. So we take 4X, divide by 4 over here. If we do it over here, we got to do it over here. So we divide that out, and we get X equals 60,000 milligrams. 60,000 milligrams. So that is how you do that one. All right, here's example number 2. How many milligrams of medication do you give a 50-pound? And that pound sign is not a hashtag. It's a pound sign. It stands for pounds of weight. So yeah. So how many milligrams of medication do you give a 50-pound dog if you should give 20 milligrams for every 10 pounds? And this is a common dosage thing that we work with in veterinary medicine. So you can see how I set it up here. I have my 20 milligrams is given for every 10 pounds a dog. And then they want to know how many milligrams. So I have an X here next to my milligrams for 50 pounds of a dog. So I have milligrams, pounds, pounds. So now all I need to do is cross multiply and divide. So I have 10X equals 1,000. So we have 10X here, and we need to get X by itself. So we divide by 10 here. If we do it on this side, we got to do it on this side. So you divide by 10 here. Just kind of crossed out these zeros, and that leaves us with 100 milligrams. All right, so you have workbook pages 175 and 176 are working with ratios, simple ratios, and then 177 and 178 are dilutions using ratios. So we thought we'd do a couple together to kind of help you guys get going. So the first question on page 175 is if 7 quarts of quantricide is a cleaner, is used in 5 weeks, how many quarts will be used in 16 weeks? And this is kind of typical if you want to know how long something will last, how when you have to reorder it, something like that. So we have our 7 quarts here lasted 5 weeks, so we put 7 quarts over the 5 weeks, and then we want to know how many quarts, which is X quarts, will last 16 weeks. So that is how you set up quarts, weeks, and now we cross multiply and divide. So we get 5x here equals, you take the 7 times the 16, you get 112. So you have 5x equals 112. Now we need to get x by itself. So we divide 5 over here. If we do it on this side, we got to do it on that side. So we take 112 divided by 5, and you get 22.4. So what that means is it'll last a little over 22 weeks. So you have that 0.4 there, 22.4, so a little over 22 weeks. All right, our next one is number 8, and that is on page 176 in your student workbook. The ratio of Brilliant Blue shampoo is 1 part shampoo to 4 parts water. How much shampoo will be needed if we use 28 cups of water? Well, a part, I should probably explain, a part can be anything. A part could be 1 tablespoon to 4 tablespoons. It could be 1 gallon to 4 gallons. When it's talking in this question, it's talking about cups. So it's 1 cup to 4 cups. So a part can be anything depending on how much you need to make. So we have, here's our ratio. The 1:4 would equal 1 part over 4 parts. So it's 1 cup over 4 cups. And so we want to know how many cups of the Brilliant Blue shampoo do we add to water, the 28 cups of water, to make your shampoo that you can use on dogs. So we have a groomer that is interested in kind of hosting some of you guys to learn about grooming. So this might be something you might need to know when working with her. So now that we have it set up, 1 to 4 and x over 28, now we can just cross multiply and divide. So we have 4x here, and then we multiply the 1 times the 28 equals 28. Now we need to get x by itself, so we divide by 4 here. If we do it on this side, we need to do it on this side. So 28 divided by 4 equals 7 cups. So we mix 7 cups of the Brilliant Blue shampoo to 28 cups of water. Mix that up, and now you can use it on the dogs. All right, let's move on to dilutions using ratios. And this is workbook pages 177 and 178. So it's very similar to what we've been doing here. So I picked number 2 on page 177. It says, in making 1,200 mLs of a 3% Lysol solution, how many grams of Lysol are used? So I started out here with the 3%, and I showed you how to change it into a decimal and then into a fraction. So 3%, if you move the decimal 2 places to the left to make it into a decimal, the 3 is in the hundredths position, so you put 3 over 100. So this is the percentage, this is what it is in decimal form, and here it is in a fraction. So we have 3 over 100, and they want to know how many grams of Lysol can be used with the 1,200 mLs. So this is how you set it up. 3 over 100, we want to know how many grams of Lysol in making 1200 mLs. So now we cross multiply and divide. So we get 100x equals 3600. So you have 100x here equals 3600. We need to get x by itself. So we divide by 100 over here. If we do it on this side, we need to do it on this side. I divided out the 100, just kind of marked out those zeros there that match up, and it equals 36 grams for that one. All right, the other question I picked was number 10 on page 178. How many mLs of formalin are needed to make 200 ml solution if it is mixed in a ratio of 2 to 4? So here is our 2 to 4 ratio, and this is what it looks like in a fraction form, 2 over 4. So we have 2 over 4 here, and it wants to know how many mLs are needed to make a 200 ml solution here. So now that we have it set up, we just need to cross multiply and divide. So we get 4x here, and we take 2 times 200 here to get 400. So we have 4x equals 400. We need to get x by itself. So we take 4 divided 4 over here to get x by itself. If we do it on this side, got to do it on this side. So 400 divided by 4 equals 100 mLs. And that is it. So we went through 4 of the questions on the pages that we ask you guys to do on simple ratios and dilutions using ratios. So good luck as always. If you have any other questions or get stuck with something, by all means send us an email, ask us, and we'll be sure to answer you. All right, thanks guys.